In the ancient world, the serpent was never merely a symbol of temptation. It was the guardian of energy, the embodiment of duality, the reminder that what can poison can also heal. In spiritual traditions from India to Egypt, from Taoist alchemy to Hermetic philosophy, the serpent represents the coiled life force within the human being, what the yogic scriptures call Kundalini, Shakti. When ungoverned, this serpent descends into indulgence, scattering vitality into the external world, but when controlled, it ascends the spinal tower, illuminating the mind and fortifying the will. In the modern era, the serpent esquisse has taken new forms, not as mythic seduction, but as the endless digital seduction of screens, dopamine, lust, and distraction. The average man of the 21st century is not drained by a person, but by patterned psychological loops, designed to exploit his biology. Social media algorithms, adult content, and the culture of instant gratification have mastered the language of energy manipulation. Each click, each craving, each microdose of pleasure is an invitation for the serpent to strike, not to destroy, but to awaken a test. Will he command his instincts or serve them? Semen retention in this context is not an outdated ascetic practice, but a radical act of neurological sovereignty, a rebellion against engineered addiction. It is the science of redirecting bioelectric vitality from transient pleasure toward enduring purpose, transforming chemistry into consciousness. Biologically, the energy conserved through sexual discipline is not mystical imagination, but measurable potential. Semen, rich in zinc, selenium, and neurotransmitter precursors, represents condensed creative intelligence. Its retention triggers hormonal recalibration, testosterone levels rise, dopamine sensitivity normalizes, and prefrontal cortical control strengthens. Neuroscientific research confirms that abstaining from hyperstimulation restores balance to the mesolimbic reward circuit, increasing motivation and focus. But beyond hormones, what truly changes is the direction of attention. In ancient Upanishadic language, where attention goes, energy flows. When attention is trapped in sensual circuits, the brain loops in craving and release. When attention is lifted toward mastery, art, creation, spiritual ascent, the same energy becomes fuel for insight. This is the serpent ascending, rather than striking. In Taoist alchemy, this process is called Jing to Qi to Shen, transforming sexual essence Jing into vital energy Qi, and then into spiritual awareness Shen. In the digital era, this alchemy takes psychological form, men learning to sublimate their instinctual drives into innovation, leadership, and creativity. The disciplined mind becomes magnetic, not because it resists life, but because it channels life more completely. Modern neuroscience echoes what ancient mystics intuited. Restraint is not suppression, but redirection. The serpent, when tamed, becomes the staff of power, the caduceus of Hermes, the emblem of healing and mastery. Philosophically, semen retention is not merely about celibacy. It is about regaining the throne of one's inner kingdom. In a world governed by external validation, where the attention economy monetizes desire, retaining one's seed symbolizes retaining sovereignty over one's will. The serpent esquisse in this metaphor is the allure of dissipation, the constant pull of external stimulation that promises fulfillment but breeds emptiness. Every act of retention is an act of remembering that energy, once leaked into lower pleasures, cannot serve higher callings. This does not demonize pleasure, it redefines it. The ancients understood that real pleasure arises from alignment, not indulgence. The man who masters his energy becomes a vessel of clarity. His very presence influences environments. Ancient martial traditions, such as those of the Shaolin or samurai, believed that sexual discipline sharpened intuition, strengthened the nervous system, and stabilized emotion under pressure. Today, psychology calls it emotional regulation and dopamine homeostasis, where ancient warriors used meditation and breath to seal their life force. Modern practitioners can use mindfulness, cold exposure, and purposeful solitude to achieve the same energetic control. Thus, the serpent's kiss becomes not a curse, but a teacher, a reminder that energy, once tasted, must be directed with reverence. In the modern age of hyperconnectivity, the void of attraction is no longer confined to physical temptation. It is digital, informational, and psychological. Billboards, advertisements, influencers, and algorithms now function as modern sirens, singing to the primal brain, pulling the masculine spirit into endless scrolling and consumption. Each act of lust, distraction, or reactive emotion is an offering to the void, a transfer of energy from creation to consumption. Semen retention, therefore, becomes a discipline of awareness and art of resisting fragmentation. It teaches the practitioner to feel the rising of energy without being enslaved by it, to observe desire as an electric force that can be transmuted into passion for learning, entrepreneurship, or service. When practiced consistently, this discipline refines character, focus sharpens, intuition strengthens, and relationships deepen, not because one avoids attraction, but because one understands it. Energy no longer leaks through unconscious impulses, but radiates through controlled intention. This radiance, often noticed as confidence or charisma, is simply coherence, the nervous system operating in harmony. Ancient yogis called it ojas, the luminous vitality of conserved essence. Modern psychology calls it flow state. The two are the same truth, seen through different languages. Alignment generates power. Ultimately, the serpent's kiss is an invitation to evolve beyond duality, to no longer see attraction as a threat but as raw energy awaiting mastery. The practitioner of semen retention in the 21st century is not retreating from the world. He is engaging with it consciously. He learns to walk among temptations without being swayed, to use attraction as a mirror for his unintegrated impulses, and to transmute desire into devotion to purpose, growth, and higher consciousness. The energy once lost in fleeting pleasure becomes the fire that forges legacy. This is why the ancients called retention the royal path. It is not about denying the serpent but learning its language, understanding that within every pulse of desire lies the seed of transformation. In a culture obsessed with release, the one who retains becomes rare, radiant, and magnetic, not because he withholds love, but because he directs it. The modern man practicing this discipline is not running from the world of pleasure but mastering its rhythm, turning what was once weakness into wisdom and what was once instinct into illumination. In mastering his serpent, he masters himself, and in mastering himself, he no longer fears the kiss, for he has become the flame. Power is a symbolic exploration of how masculine focus can be weakened by distraction, temptation, and loss of inner balance. This is not about blaming women, but about recognizing the subtle, energetic exchanges that occur when a man forgets his center. In mythology, the serpent's kiss represents charm, beauty, and seduction, forces that can either awaken or consume. The film dives into this timeless metaphor, revealing how the serpent lives not outside but within, in our own impulses, fantasies, and unchecked desires. Through ancient imagery and modern wisdom, this essay teaches that true masculine strength is not suppression, but awareness, the ability to see through illusion without hatred or fear. It urges men to protect their life force, not from women, but from weakness, distraction, and emotional dependency. When a man learns to master his inner serpent, the same energy that once drained him becomes the fire that refines him. This is a call to rise beyond lust into power, to walk the path of restraint and focus, and to transform attraction into awakening, the highest alchemy of the disciplined masculine spirit. Now, before you go channel that incredible energy, you know the drill. Hit that like button to send a signal to the algorithm, and if you haven't yet joined the movement, smash subscribe right now. I want to know where the power is flowing from, so drop your location in the comments below. And for those deep questions and direct access, our Telegram channel is where the real growth happens. The link to join our inner circle is waiting for you in the description. Go be a force. Share this with one person who needs this fire today. Have a powerful day.